Hello everybody, my name is Davis and welcome back to another video, and today we're here for another severe weather breakdown. Now we have so much to talk about today. I know it feels like I say that every time, but seriously, we got a slight risk of severe weather, we got a new hurricane out in the ocean, we got a hurricane that's about to make landfall, we've got massive temperature swings coming, we have a lot to talk about today, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with the SPC outlook for today, like I said, we have a slight risk of severe thunderstorms here in the Texas-New Mexico border. This includes Lubbock and Midland, so look out in those regions. This includes 900,000 people in this slight risk today, so look out. Tornado threat for today. We do have a 2% risk of a tornado here. That does only include Midland, but it also includes a lot of rural parts of Texas and New Mexico, so look out anywhere in that green bubble. You have a 2% chance to see a tornado today. Wind threat, we have a 5% risk of damaging winds of 60 miles an hour higher over a good portion of Texas as well as eastern New Mexico, so look out in this entire region here. 12 million people are in that brown shaded area today. Hail threat, this is what's driving our slight risk today. We have a 15% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger in portions of Texas and New Mexico, so definitely look out for that. That can be some very damaging hail. Brown, that's still a 5% risk of hail of 1 inch or larger, so still look out for that. Window destruction meter, today we are at a moderate risk for window destruction. We're kind of closer to a low risk than we are to a high risk, but a moderate risk is no joke. You need to be making sure that if you get across a severe storm today, stay away from windows, especially in the Texas, New Mexico region. But yeah, that's it for that. Moving on to tomorrow's SPC outlook, we have a marginal risk of severe weather already for a line of storms that has actually formed today here. I believe that earlier today we actually had a marginal risk of severe weather here in the upper western Midwest. But tomorrow, this line is going to have a marginal risk here in portions of the middle Midwest. So like northwestern Illinois, southeastern Iowa, northeastern Missouri, those are all going to be the hotspot areas tomorrow. You're under a marginal risk of severe weather already. It could get upgraded to a slight risk. We really don't know as of right now. Tornado threat for tomorrow, very low. No tornadoes expected as of right now. Damaging wind threat, 5% risk of damaging wind gusts of 60 miles an hour higher, which is what's driving our marginal risk here for tomorrow. So look out. This extends almost all the way out to Peoria, back down through the Kansas City region, almost up into Des Moines. So look out for that. Hail threat for tomorrow. We also have 5% risk of hail of 1 inch or larger, so I guess technically that's driving our marginal risk as well. So in those same areas, you also have a chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger, so look out for that. Going into Sunday here, we already have a marginal risk of severe weather in eastern North Carolina, and we're most likely going to get a marginal risk and potentially even a slight risk up here in very, very, very eastern portions of Maine as Hurricane Lee makes landfall, but we'll keep you covered on that. We can't break down the threats for the marginal risk for North Carolina as of right now. National Hurricane Center, like I said, we have a new hurricane today, or I guess technically just a tropical depression right now, but it currently only has 35-mile-per-hour winds, but it is expected to rapidly intensify and head up towards Bermuda, and then as it approaches Bermuda, potentially even be a Category 3 or high-end Category 2 hurricane, and then after that could make landfall somewhere in the northeastern U.S. as at least a Category 2 hurricane, maybe even higher, so we really need to be watching this thing. I've been saying that for like a week now, and it finally formed, and now you know why I was so worried about this thing, is because we're already almost likely to see impacts on Bermuda, but probably even the U.S. as well here is going to get a direct hit from this thing. Hurricane Lee will make landfall most likely sometime Saturday night or Sunday morning as a tropical storm, but we're going to break that down later in this video. Tropical Storm Margot here. I've been saying for a while now that this is just going to be a fish storm, but it is going to affect some of these itty-bitty islands here in Europe, so look out for that. Well, not really in Europe. It's kind of, I don't know what continent these would be in, if they're in any, honestly. But yeah, look out for that. Disturbance here that has a 20% chance to form the next 7 days and a 0% chance to form the next 48 hours. We have no idea what this thing's going to do yet, if it's going to have a higher chance to form, if it's going to form at all, where it's going to go, anything. So I'm not going to talk on that yet. Eastern Pacific, we have Tropical Depression 12E here. This has finally formed as well, but this is not nearly as threatening as we were expecting it to be. It could potentially go towards Hawaii. In fact, it's weird. This shows it as a tropical depression, but the Central Pacific shows it as not formed yet. But pretend it's a tropical depression right now. It's expected to stay a tropical depression for a while, and we don't know what it's going to do after that. It may not even make it to Hawaii. We really don't know as of right now. but look out for some potential thunderstorms from this in Hawaii here. That's pretty much it for the National Hurricane Center. So let's go ahead and move on to the track of Lee here, currently sitting at a Category 1 hurricane, albeit a low-end Category 1 hurricane with 80-mile-an-hour winds. It is expected to stay that way for just a little bit, but at landfall, it's looking like it's going to be about a 70-mile-per-hour storm. A little after landfall here, it's going to be about 65 miles per hour, but the landfall has really gone off to the east more than it was before. So over here in Maine, you're most likely not going to get the direct impact from this thing, but you're actually supposed to see heavier rainfall than where this thing actually makes landfall at, like in Nova Scotia or New Brunswick. So Maine, still look out for some heavy rain, definitely, as well as New Hampshire, all these other states down here, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, you know the drill. So look out for that still. It could still have some high winds, high waves, rain, storm surge, even maybe a tornado or two in that region. But the main threat overall is going to be here on the Nova Scotia, New Brunswick border. And then it's going to move off to the north and east, continue to be a tropical storm here, continue to go north and east, and then eventually it's looking like it's going to end up as a tropical storm here, and it's going to finish its lifetime as a 40-mile-per-hour storm here right after it leaves the Atlantic Canada region. So look out for Hurricane Lee, guys. It's expected to make landfall sometime Saturday night, tomorrow night, or Sunday morning. So yeah. Moving on to the Climate Prediction Center, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. This is the 21st to the 25th. Our heat dome is still in effect, definitely here for the upper Midwest. So especially for areas like Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, you're all going to have a 70 to 80% chance to see above average temperatures in some portion of your states. And really all these states, the entirety of all the states are most likely to see above average temperatures. So definitely look out. You're going to get a late start to fall, it's looking like. I know I've been saying that for a while, but it's true. This heat dome will leave the U.S. soon and finally go off to Canada, hopefully, but we aren't too sure yet. It's kind of hard to predict where these domes are going to move. And then here we have a massive cool down for the desert Southwest and the Four Corner states, basically at the other end of the country, which I think is super cool to see this temperature war going on, with the western U.S. seeing colder temperatures and the eastern U.S. seeing warmer temperatures. But anyway, especially areas like the Death Valley, Vegas, Phoenix, that area, very below average temperatures expected. You have a 60 to 70% chance to see below average temperatures, but that does not mean that it's going to be cold, because it's always hot down in this region, especially this time of year. So still look out, it's going to be pretty hot, even though this says it's going to be below average. Now moving on to the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, that's once again from the 21st to the 25th. We have a large area of above average precipitation likely here in the north central U.S., kind of the upper western Midwest region here going into the northwestern U.S. You have a 50 to 60% chance to see above average precipitation. It's going to be very rainy, possibly even some storms up here in this region. Northeast is expected to see drier temperatures, but after Hurricane Lee, that's going to be a good thing that we don't get quite as much rain. And it's just gotten a lot of rain in general this summer. So yeah, definitely a slower period for storms and rain and everything in this region. Above average precipitation is possible here for the southeastern U.S., so look out for that. And then below average precipitation expected for the bottom two Four Corner states. It's funny, bottom two Four Corner states are expected to see below average precipitation, and the top two Four Corner states are expected to see above average precipitation. But yeah, moving on to the 8 to 14 day outlooks, that would be the 23rd to the 29th. Our heat dome is going to still kind of be here, but like I said, does move. The worst of it moves off into Canada just a little bit, but northeast, upper Midwest, Ohio Valley, this entire region still has a very good chance to see above average temperatures, about a 60 to 70% chance. Same thing here for the deep south as well. I didn't mention this heat dome, but this one's going to be pretty brutal as well. And then the desert Southwest and really the entirety of the western U.S. is still expected to see below average temperatures, a 50 to 60% chance to see below average temperatures here in the darkest shade of blue. So still going to be a pretty nice cool down for that region. Moving on to the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, our massive rain dome thingy really doesn't go anywhere. In fact, it kind of stays stationary and about just as intense. It's still 50 to 60% chance to see above average precipitation here in the upper western Midwest. So look out for that. It's going to be very rainy, very stormy in this region. Four corner states, again, the bottom two are expected to see below average precipitation, and the top two are expected to see above average precipitation. And then above average precipitation still likely for this area here, mainly the Carolinas and Georgia. Alright, so finally, moving on to the watches, warnings, and advisories. Air quality alerts in effect for portions of Texas, mainly the DFW region, the DFW metro, everything like that. So look out for that. We do have some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect here for portions of Texas. So look out for that for sure. Frost advisory still in effect for portions of north central Pennsylvania here. So very chilly in this region. And then not really hurricane watches, at this point just tropical storm warnings in effect for portions of the Northeast, and then there also might be like local like tropical storm statements or something along the lines of that. So look out for that, obviously, but other than that, it's pretty calm right now, honestly. So if you guys did enjoy this video, then make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.